Alpha Chat.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Alpha Chat. Today we will be talking about our top 3 games of 2012, and by we, I am now joined by, as ever, Divine Rag Ben.
Yep, once more I'm here again.
And in case you didn't know, I'm Samus Killer Dan, the host with co-host here. Anyway, enough of all that. I think we'll get straight into our top 3. So I'll start off with number 3.
You will?
Which my number 3 game of the year was the unfinished Swan from Giant Sparrow. And it was on the PS3, well, the PlayStation Network. It's a downloadable only title. It's at number 3 because it was just a really out there game that just kind of, it starts off, you think it might be a bit gimmicky. Like, it's a really cool concept. And you think, okay, this is really, really interesting. I'm liking this. And just when you start to think, right, okay, I'm getting a bit sort of like, is this game going to be like this for the next, like,
is this it?
God knows, yeah. Because after the first half hour or an hour, you're kind of like, okay, I want to, but that'd be enough for me. But then it just throws more and more stuff towards you, like other game mechanics, and they're not just like second to what the paint throwing was at the beginning. The paint throwing just gets put to one side pretty much completely.
Yeah.
And instead you're throwing water to make plants grow. You're going through these nighttime stages that are very eerie, and the story as well. But the whole journey to the end of trying to follow this boy Monroe, and it is like a storybook. And it's only 2 hours long, or 2 hours, 3 hours. All depends on if you want to get the collectibles around.
Yes, yeah.
But it's just it's such a really, really enjoyable experience.
Mm.
Like, you haven't played it yet, have you?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I mean, you saw the review I did, but I would love to see you just start it off, because it's one of them games where you just have a massive smile the whole time.
Yeah.
It's one of them games that you don't get frustrated on. There's a few little moments you're like, just a little bit careful towards the end. But the actual ending itself, not going to spoil it, but you should play it anyway. It brings everything together, and it's such a great little sort of story, really contained. And I just really, really love the concept and want to see what Giant Sparrow actually go with from there with another game, because for me I wouldn't ever thought I would like that sort of game.
Yes.
2 hours long for 10 quid, which 2 hours for 10 quid I think still is a little bit pricey. The actual length itself is perfect. So it is perfect with how all the mechanics are drawn together. They just as you get bored with one mechanic, it seamlessly changes into another mechanic without even realising. And all this happens just in 2 hours.
Yes. It's a different game to everything else you usually play. Is that what you're trying to say? Or is it one of those games where you're just like, oh, there's so more different stuff inside the game that just gets you thinking, wow.
Yeah, it definitely was a game that constantly makes you go, wow.
Yeah.
It's a game that it just like, yeah, that's really impressive. It's not like the most amazing game ever, but there are just moments where you think, just push a smile on your face, and you just at the end of the day, that's kind of why you play games, isn't it? Really,
yes, to enjoy it.
And a lot of games nowadays I find I get stressed on, and I'm like, why am I playing this? I'll just turn it off. I'm supposed to play it to enjoy it, but I think I'll just end it there by saying, at number 3 for me is the unfinished Swan. So move on to you, Ben. What's number 3
number
for you?
3 for my best of 2012 was Halo 4. Now, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but I am a really big Halo fan.
I'm well aware.
You're well aware.
He's a massive Halo
shove
fan.
it down your throat every time we see you, like, Halo.
Halo's probably probably reiterating now, Halo is probably your favourite franchise.
It is
gaming
indeed.
franchise.
Yeah. I enjoyed the campaign. It's a lot like any other game in the series, so if you have playing the series, by all means buy this game and continue.
Is it very much like the others?
It is very much so. Like, the whole idea of obviously the Covenant, the bad guys, they're back. Obviously everyone knows that, I'm sure you do. There are also new enemies in there. They're called the Prometheans. I'm not going to go into too much detail about those in case you haven't played the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also another race of enemies now, which is always a bonus. More people to shoot.
Yeah.
The campaign itself is really detailed, in depth. It tells you a lot about some of the background of the new enemies you discover, the Prometheans. Tells you a lot about their race.
I've heard it's probably the best campaign in the Halo series since the first one.
I don't agree with that. I probably think Halo 3 is, but that's simply because I played Halo 3 was my first game.
Yes, fair enough.
But yeah, it's still a very good campaign. I'd recommend it to anyone that is looking to get back into the Halo series, because obviously not everyone may have skipped it at all.
What was your favourite thing about it? What was the one thing that made you think, that's why I love Halo 4?
The ending. You knew it was coming, but yeah, it still surprised you the way they done it.
Right, it was a great ending.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my god. It was awesome.
In a South Park voice.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's fantastic.
And
Carry on.
another thing I liked about it was called Spartan Ops. Now, if anyone's played Call of Duty, which I'm sure you have, you'll know, especially in Modern Warfare 2.
What is this Call of Duties you talk about?
Yeah, what is this Call of Duty you speak of? But no, it's a lot like Spec Ops in the way of, obviously, there's cooperative missions you play, separate missions.
Oh,
to
yes,
do. Yep.
yes.
So obviously this with Halo 4 one, it's called Spartan Ops.
So just want to probably button. I've played Halo 4, which is why actually I'm not purposely sounding like I don't know this because I don't know Halo 4.
Yes, that's fine. So obviously there's a Spartan Ops in this, as I just said earlier. That this is a lot like the Spec Ops, where there's set missions you do cooperatively. You can do them solo, but obviously it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Now with this, it's an entirely separate story. It's its own story itself. They are releasing episodes.
Yeah.
I believe it's a weekly episode thing that they release, so you get like 5 missions within each episode you get. And each episode has its own cutscene.
And this is done by the developers, isn't it?
Yep, it's on a weekly basis.
Yeah, you said cutscenes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So each one has a cutscene, so it's got its own story as well. So you follow Crimson Squad.
Because I've heard mixed reactions on Spartan Ops.
Yes, yeah.
Spartan Ops. I've heard some people just find them a little bit boring, but you really enjoy them.
Yeah, they're the same maps as well, like a few.
Oh, okay.
It's around 5 or 6 maps, but there's different objectives with each one. It tells you there is a reason why you're going back to it. It's not just saying, "Oh, I'm going to put you here."
Oh yeah,
There is a reason telling you why you're going back.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
There's a story throughout, and each story match up with the cutscenes.
Oh,
And the cutscenes are in the graphics like the prologue, for example, so they're really high quality, which I really enjoy.
The best kind of DLC, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It's completely free as well.
Yeah, you don't have to re-download it, do you?
No, you don't. It just updates it automatically.
That's pretty cool.
That is
Okay,
cool.
so I think we'll probably move on from there, and I'll talk about my second favourite game of 2012, which is Far Cry 3. Now, I just want to first start off by saying I'd played Far Cry 2 a bit, and by a bit I probably played about an hour. I did not like it at all. I didn't like it. I thought this looks like a good game. I felt lost in it. I'll be honest, it was the same with me with Skyrim.
Yeah.
I felt lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I didn't like the combat. In fact, the combat I hated. Far Cry 3, just literally everything anyone didn't like about Far Cry 2 just corrects everything about it. In fact, the best thing about Far Cry 3 is just it's just this massive, beautiful world to explore. Like for an open world game, this is probably one of the best games I've ever seen. Although I haven't really played the Crysis games on full blast specs of the PC, but console gaming is probably the best open world map I've seen graphically. But yeah, that's another thing is the customization. You can upgrade your weapons, you can buy new weapons, you can upgrade your different bags and like pouches and stuff. And you upgrade new skills as well. Very much a bit like Skyrim, kind of. So you upgrade new skills and you can get like new abilities.
Yeah, so it's like honing your own sort of character, would you say?
Yes, it's nowhere near on the same level as
Yes,
Skyrim in that sense. It's much more sort of focused on the shooting. Like the RPG elements definitely take a back seat. You can level up your character in a way, although it doesn't actually have any actual effect.
It doesn't like specifically say level up your character. It's just
you can get some cool moves. Like one of my favourites is if you've got 2 enemies and they're both facing each other, you don't want them to set the alarm off. You only kill really one at a time.
Yeah.
You can throw a rock to the side of one. They both turn and face the same way. You go up behind one, stab one in the back, take out his knife, and then throw at the other one. And then you just you stand there and you're like, wow, yeah, that was pretty damn awesome. And I will the game itself, I think, is like a cross between a little bit of Skyrim, but more so it feels a lot like Assassin's Creed. Even to the sense of you have a map that you have to you don't really know, you can't see all the map at all, and you go up to these radio towers and you go to the top of the towers, you activate them, and the camera swoops around.
Yes, it's like a synchronizing point.
Yes, exactly
Assassin's
like
Creed.
Assassin's Creed, and then you can jump down on a zip wire, and it is. I mean, obviously both by Ubisoft Montreal.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you can tell that they got a lot of inspiration from their own studio.
People have said that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of reviews talking about that as well. The mixture between obviously Ubisoft.
And one of my favourite things about Far Cry 3 is the motivation behind the whole story. Because a lot of some open world games have like a kind of a main plot, but you have like a few side quests. This game has a main plot, is that you're on this island, you've lost your friends, and you bit by bit you find another friend, and there's some really honestly touching moments when you find your girlfriend or you find your friend. Like you start off with you in this prison. The opening's brilliant.
Yes,
And like the way they set up the beginning and set up the main bad guy, and I'll just say this, I've said to you before, this main bad guy in Far Cry 3 is by far one of the coolest bad guys I've ever seen. He is so evil and so psychotic. You cannot take your eyes off him.
Yes.
It's kind of it feels his pacing feels a lot like Assassin's Creed 2 and Revelations, Brotherhood, sorry, where you have like a main plot point, but you have a bunch of little side quests, but you find like you keep wanting to. For me personally, Assassin's Creed, all I keep doing is want to get to the top of the towers, what they call the
Synchronization points.
Yes, and I keep doing that in Far Cry 3.
You must
and
be a very bored person to be able to do that.
I get really addicted to finding all the different points. And also, there's loads of different little factions in Far Cry 3 of little camps, and you have to kill everyone to get the camps. You can deactivate the alarms, because if you don't deactivate the alarms and they spot you before, and they'll set the alarms off and they'll bring reinforcements, and then it can really screw you up.
Yes.
But one of the best things about it as well is the animals, like all the environment. The animals can either work to your advantage or they can't. For example, you can see a bear. They've captured a bear in a cage. You shoot the cage open, and the bear just runs rampant and kills everyone. And if they'd kill the bear beforehand, then you obviously take off the last couple of people.
Yes.
We can go against you, where you're lining up a sniper, you're tagging everyone, so you can see where everyone is, and you're going all the way around the outside of their area, so you can try and figure out who's there and who's not.
Picking them off one by one.
Yeah, and the next thing, this Komodo dragon just bites your ankle, and you're like, no! You try and get off, you shoot it, and obviously you shot it, and you've alerted everyone because your character just started screaming. You're like, oh, for God's sake! So the environment, it is really, really cool. It just feels like it feels like such a living, breathing world, and I didn't even think I was going to like this game. It really flew under everyone's radar in the sense of the big game for the year, especially from Ubisoft, was Assassin's Creed 3.
Yes.
And no one really cared about Far Cry 3 that much. But Far Cry 3 is a great game.
I'd say it's definitely underrated. A lot of people have been purchasing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I don't know how well. I think it's sold well, but yeah, Far Cry 3 is a great game. It's got number 2. All right, let's move on to your second favourite game of 2012, Ben, which is
Mass Effect 3.
Right. Okay.
So obviously, I'd played the. You have to
appreciate the first two by playing them first.
Don't purchase Mass Effect 3 unless you've played 1 and 2.
Well,
just don't, because you won't know a clue what's going on.
Yeah, but you have on the Wii U, for example, you have the comic book, the interactive comic book, where you can watch comic book versions of the first two and make the big decisions in them games.
You can make the decisions when you start Mass Effect. It will just tell you, would you like so and so to survive? Would you like to end it this way? Would you like to keep so and so alive? But still, it doesn't feel like Mass Effect. You can't just jump into it straight away. You have to play 1 and 2. Honestly, because those Mass Effect 1 and 2 are great games. You have to get to know them. You have to get to know the characters. You have to get to know the plot of it, the enemies, who you are, why you're there, etc. And with Mass Effect 3, I thought it was a perfect sum up of how a game should be. Especially, it's a mixture between the RPG and action game, because it's all about.
Has the combat improved since the last one?
I'd say it's roughly the same.
Because I know that they improved it a lot from the second to the first. I haven't played Mass Effect, any of them.
They have improved bits of it. It's still got the same concept to it. They've just improved points of it, such as like the sprinting from cover to cover, etc.
Right.
It's nothing major, but it still helps with the improvements.
Mass Effect 2, from what I understood, was pretty great anyway.
It was great, very good. Mass Effect 1, in my opinion, was the worst.
Yeah. I think they sort of they proved a lot of things with the second one.
They did, yeah. And with the third, obviously, the campaign. Obviously, this is the last Mass Effect in the series. It is a great ending. A lot of people hate it.
So I say, because the ending for a lot of people, they hated, and they ended up hating the whole game just because the ending.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think it deserves the credit that people are summing up to. Obviously, just because they don't like the ending.
It doesn't deserve the flack of.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, the ending sucks, but you're forgetting the reason why you play it, and that's because the entire game is great. You can't just disown a game just because the ending doesn't work out.
Did you like the ending though? Did you when the ending actually happened?
Well, there's three endings to choose from,
right?
And you get your basic 1 and 2 ending.
Yeah. But
then there's the third ending, which you only get once you meet a certain requirement. And I'm not sure everyone does that. See, I worked hard to perfect all three of my accounts.
I think everyone knows of all endings.
Yes, yeah. But obviously, with the bonus ending, it is better than the other two you get. Either way, it still works out relatively the same. It just works out with a slightly better, overall ending of the game.
Right.
But I don't think you can disown it just because the ending's bad. In my opinion, it wasn't amazing. obviously, I'm not going to tell you, but everyone that's played the
So
Mass Effect 3
you
engine
still
will
had
know.
some kind of, the infamous.
Yeah, I was like,
But you were more. Is it more you just thinking, why did everyone complain about it so much?
I knew it was coming, but I was like, it's not that hated.
It's not that
It should
bad,
just
you
be
mean.
happily forgotten about,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Obviously, with this one, it's their first time doing the online, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one game type, but every game is different. It's like on, I don't know, Horde or Nazi Zombies. Every
Yeah.
game is different.
Yeah.
And
I heard that the multiplayer is one really, really cool thing about Mass Effect 3.
it is, yeah. So you get 3 difficulties. You get bronze, silver, and gold. Each one you get more like rewards for doing it. And with that money from the rewards, you can purchase packs. And with that packs, you get characters to play as. You get customizations, weapons, etc. It's different to every other multiplayer game I've played. It's all survival in that, but there's so many different objectives in it. I thought it's very in depth, and once you play it, you just get addicted to it. Honestly, it's a great game. Definitely worth buying.
Okay, so I'll then go on to finally when I say finally, we've got yours still left, but my favourite game of the year to be Journey, which was again just like the unfinished Swan, a PSN downloadable title for PS3. But the difference with Journey was that it did not feel like a typical game experience.
Why is that?
It starts off that you're this you're this nameless character, and you're in this gorgeous, I say gorgeous, a massive desert area, but the art direction, the art style it's fantastic. I was just looking like something you haven't actually properly seen it, have you?
I haven't. No, I didn't even know.
He'll watch it on the back, with the footage in the background now, and it's just a stunning game. And you're gliding through this sand, and you're just sort of like you see like these ancient sort of like ruins in the distance.
Yes, yeah.
And next thing you know, there's someone that looks exactly like you, just joins you up next to you. Turns out that is another human person. You don't know their name, you don't know who they are. There's no voice chat.
Yes.
All the difference is that you glide and fly through certain levels by using your voice to sort of activate certain areas. So basically, basically keep going through this like set path.
Yeah.
It keeps changing. You're always in a desert, but it keeps changing its environment to make it look like different types. And you're constantly. The whole goal is to get to the top of this mountain. You don't know what it is, but you just know that's where you got to be. And when you're with this person, and you're gliding through, and you jump up on a few platforms, you think, oh, where is he? Oh crap, where is he? And you actually all of a sudden you think, oh, I have to be with him.
Yeah, I've lost him.
And you have this weird attachment that nothing you've never ever felt in a game where
you don't know who he is, but you feel important.
Voice chat and names and whatnot, you had nothing to do. The only right at the end when you finish the game, it tells you who you met on your journey. And I thought I had, because you sometimes lose someone. When you get the next area, you might find another person. You think, oh, okay. I realised that.
It's
okay,
like a replacement.
Yeah, well, they obviously joined in that area at the same time as you. But I lost someone, and I was like, oh, I lost him. I don't know what, I'll carry on going. And I actually thought, shit, I've lost him. Like, oh crap. I wanted to see if I would want to go with him, like the whole time, the same person. And I thought I'd only done that once. It turns out right at the end it shows you who you actually went on the journey with. And it was 4 different people with me. And I was like, I didn't realise there's 4 different people. And it showed you their names as well. Right at the end.
Is it like other people that have played the game, or is it...
No, you're playing it with them at the same time.
What, like other people around the world? So like
Yeah.
I could be one of those people that are with you.
Yeah, but obviously we don't know because you joined it just like seemingly random times.
Yeah.
But it's
that's
just
pretty weird.
It is, and when you get to the end, it's such like it's really like there's no dialogue. There's no like really any proper story to speak of.
Yeah.
But there's such an emotional sort of like roller coaster of a game, like, and it's so stunning to look at musically, visually as well. And when you get to the end, you just kind of sit back and you're like, I want to play that journey again.
But with different people.
Well, you just play it again and just play through it again.
Oh.
And I'll be honest, I'm actually looking forward to recording the footage for this again because it's such an amazing game.
Would you say it's worth a download then?
Yes,
without
definitely.
a doubt. Yeah,
without a doubt.
Without
If you own a PS3, and you haven't downloaded Journey, and you look at it thinking 2 hours for £10, just do it. Honestly, just do it. It is a really, really great experience. Although, well, actually, we'll backtrack a little bit. Maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea because it really is not the conventional style of game. Like there's no like objectives to speak of.
Yes.
But I just couldn't stop playing the game. Well, I couldn't. I just played through it in one go, 2 hours, boom.
Yeah.
So I think we'll finish off finally with your favourite game.
Yeah, my
of
final
the year.
game. You own it as well,
I
don't
do.
you? A lot of people own it as well. It's broke some records, I think, around the world. It is Minecraft for the Xbox 360.
So yeah, this is a slight cheat because obviously Minecraft's been out for what, 2 years on the PC, 2-3
It has,
years.
yeah.
But obviously this year saw the release of the 360 version, and Ben and myself included experienced the game for the first time on the 360.
We did indeed. And what a great game. Honestly, you're not that much of a fan of it, are you, Daniel?
No, I do like Minecraft, but I play it when you want to play it.
Yeah, you get bored of it easily.
Yeah, I play it for a little bit. Well, when I first downloaded it, I'll probably play it for a good few hours. I made my own little town or my own house.
Yeah.
Made it as perfect as I could. I was like, yeah, this is brilliant. And the new update came, and then I couldn't play my
Your world.
my map, my
Yeah,
world
that was
with
like
the
me,
new
wasn't it?
update,
Yeah.
which I was like, oh, all right, okay, well, I'm
Built
moving
like a
on. I'll
massive
move
kingdom.
on now. Mm.
Yeah, I remember building like a massive kingdom with all sorts of stuff.
Oh
in
yeah,
it.
the floating castle in the sky.
Yeah, floating castle in the sky. I got that massive like 1,000 by 1,000 castle. Then I got this 17 by 17 all the way down to bedrock. Then they were like, "You can't play this anymore." Haha. I was like, "Ah." And it took me like 4 days because I'm so specific about my world. It has to have a certain thing in it. It has to have a certain feature in it.
Mm.
It has to have all sorts of environments in it. I can't just have like one forest, one snow world.
Yeah.
And it took me like 4 or 5 days to just find a new world to start off with, which was one of the most annoying things to me. I was like, new seed. No, I don't like that seed. Delete. New seed. Don't like that seed. But obviously...
Seeds are like just the maps.
Yeah, like a map generator.
Yeah.
And eventually I did find one, and I'm still playing on it. I haven't built a lot of it, but I'm obviously with the new update out.
It's one of those games where, definitely probably the biggest game where you will sit down and think, I'll play this for an hour, and then I'm not even serious. Like you will literally lose
5,
hours and hours,
6 hours, yeah.
without even realizing you just
It
like
is.
crap.
It's so addictive for what it is. It's like, oh, okay, I'll remove a block. I'll add another block.
Again,
but
it isn't for everyone,
it isn't, no.
but anyone who's got any sense of creativity in them.
Yeah, anyone wishes to express any sort of creativity, whether it be artwork.
As a kid.
If you're looking for a game that is different to just shooting people, i.e. Call of Duty, Halo, anything like that. But yeah, anything that you want to get a brand new, totally different game, I strongly recommend you downloading Minecraft. But honestly, without a doubt,
Every
I'd
time I come
recommend
on
it.
yours, if it's not Halo, it's Minecraft. So that has been our top 3 best games of 2012.
It has indeed.
Well, we haven't played, just want to say, we haven't played every single game of 2012, but I think between us two, we have played most, if not, 9 out of 10 games of all the best games of the year.
We have, yeah. We played most of the top games as well that have been
Yeah,
released.
Top
Major
games, the big games as in how big the release was, or even just big as in how well they were, worldwide received.
Indeed.
But we'll finish it off there and make sure you come back next time and we'll talk about the top 3, each of us, disappointments.
Yeah.
Well, we'll iterate it next time. All right, okay. And
know.
after then will be what we're looking forward to in 2013.
Yep.
So,
So it's goodbye from us.
bye-bye.
Ciao.